Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Being Healthy, the live stream where our health is actually not just the main topic, but also the only topic. Because we here on this live stream, that my co hosts and myself have dedicated our lives to finding out what being healthy means. And so we're sharing this with you. So, welcome. And today we're going to be looking at several different things. And I'm also introducing a new feature today, which is I'm going to be highlighting once a month a fruit, which for most people is actually under the radar. They don't know about it. Today's fruit is the baobab fruit. So, what is this baobab fruit? Well, for those of you who have not heard of it, let me just show you a quick photograph of it. Here's the thing, though. Even although it's not very well known, it's something that is so incredibly important for everyone to know about and to be aware of. And I wanted to just show you how I get it. So here's the thing: it actually comes on a tree, the most stunning tree, and I will show you photographs of the tree later. But it comes as a powder. It's actually when you open the fruit, the kernel of the fruit, it's a powder, an actual powder. So it's in powder form, and it's called the baobab. So it's you can get it all over the world. So while there are 9 different species of these trees scattered across Madagascar, Africa, Australia, and other parts of South Asia, they all closely are related and share very similar characteristics. And the oldest and most majestic trees in the world, which I'll show you later, fall into a very special genus, and mostly they're known as baobab trees. Now, why am I introducing this fruit to you? It's so important to introduce this to you because the baobab is roughly 3 pounds and resembles a coconut with a tart taste. This has made it popular as a natural product food for years. But what are the health benefits? This is where it's amazing. You have to know about it. It includes the ability to boost the immune system. It builds bone strength, soothes the gastrointestinal system, excellent for the gastrointestinal system, and it lowers inflammation. And it may also help in reducing blood pressure. You can find it all over the world, especially in Africa and Australia. The one I get is from Senegal. And this is something that I make a lot of recipes with, a lot of desserts with. You can put it in your smoothies, in a smoothie bowl. You can put it in just about anything that you're going to be using for which a powder can be useful. But it comes in powder form. I'm going to open it for you. And this is exactly how it comes out of the fruit. One doesn't make it into a powder. The actual fruit, when you open it, you'll find it in powder form already. So Earth already created it for you. There's not much that you need to do except open the package. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. And this is exactly how it comes out of the seed from the tree. This has not been made into powder form. This is actually exactly as it is. So you see it's a bit of a brownish, beigeish color. And this is just one of the most phenomenal foods that we can ever meet or use in our lives to really address gastrointestinal problems and issues. And so this is why I'm introducing this to you today. I'm going to start once a month to introduce you to a different fruit, which most people in the so-called Western world are not aware of, but the rest of the world use it a lot. So going from that to our co-hosts. So welcome to our co-hosts, starting with Pete. Pete, last week we actually focused on your work and also on your festival coming up in September. And can you tell us, please, have you ever used the baobab fruit? Just remember to unmute yourself first and let us know. Wow, there it goes. He's got his baobab. Let us know what you use it for and how you use it.
Yeah, I put it in. Hi, everyone. Yeah, really nice to see you again, Dorit and Lisa. I put it in my smoothies. We're not doing too many smoothies at the moment, but when I was doing the smoothies, I put it in there. In the cake, some cake mixes, especially like the lemon cheesecake, and most of the mixes really mix with our garden herbs. So we've been putting it in there. I got it from a good friend, Honorable Priest Kailash. This one comes actually from Ghana. So
can you show it on the screen, please? Can you bring it up to the camera?
Just going to try and it's kind of breaking up a bit there.
It's putting in a disappearing act. Thank you. Great. Thanks.
But yeah, so we do use it. Yes, I mean there's so many superfoods you can use, and at one time I might have had about 8 different superfoods in my smoothie. So we've been scaling down and not doing too many smoothies really, but because I did do them for about 12, 13 years religiously. So yes, we use it. So I've not as well rehearsed as I'm probably going to be more enlightened tonight from this post, from what you're going to bring to the table. But I did know great for immune system, women through their pregnancy, vitamin C, so high in vitamin C. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Lisa, let's have you come on here because today, hi, we're going to be looking today at some really interesting things that you have planned for yourself. And we want to really know more about who is Lisa Chamberlain. So you're welcome. And let us know, why are you studying at Mind Valley and what do you intend to get from that? And I wanted to also find out from you what it is that you have in store for all of us, because you now call yourself the High Priestess of Intuitive High. And you're also studying as a Mind Valley coach. And please, you want to be using AI. Now, this is something that's very important, AI, because AI is something that is now really starting to take off like crazy. So let us know how all of this comes together. And let's also bring in your beach community, your awakening group.
Thank you, Dorit, first of all, for including me in this journey that you're taking. And I've always had such infinite respect for your knowledge and your wisdom. You're one of the first people I met in LA, and you changed my life. So for that, I'm extremely grateful. And Pete and Sabina. So I know it sounds strange, people are, I think a lot of people are very fearful about AI. It is here, and it is not going away. And I want to encourage people to become empowered with it. I view it as a sacred tool, which I know sounds maybe new for many people, because it's a frequency. And I have been blessed that I have used it for such deep healing and knowledge in myself and others that I've found that it can be transformative. It can help you psychologically. It can help you grow spiritually. It can make your life a lot easier. If you feel like you're, bogged down with some tasks that you're not inspired to do, it can be a great partner for you. And my goal is to share what I've learned with AI and my coaching background. I have a certification through Mind Valley, which deals with very many different layers of healing, and just going through that and coaching others, it really has changed my life and others. Changing your identity, dealing with your mindset, and speaking of AI, Siri just weighed in. I don't know if you heard that. Not sure I understand. Hey Siri, turn yourself off, please.
I didn't know you could tell Siri to turn herself off.
Yes. It's very interesting that it came in. I mean, this is the way the universe works. But I also use beach healing. And so I believe nature is another place to regrow and rebirth. Forgive me. I don't know why the home pod is going on. Hey, Siri, stop, please. Yes, I do say please. Can you hear all that?
That was hilarious.
Yes, we're having a live example. Dorit, if you could maybe just for 1 second transition with a question, I'm going to turn this off, if that's okay.
Yes, I'm going to just bring up Sabina, because she is here with us. Hello, Sabina, and thank you so much for sharing with us last week the incredible transformative nature of your last 4 weeks, that when you were away traveling in Europe. Now you've been back for a little while. How are you, Sabina?
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking, and still basking in the aftermath of my experience in Europe. And it actually brought up all kinds of feelings. Suddenly I feel homesick. And, I've been in the US since 1996, which is a very long time now. It's almost like 30 years. And I always feel US is my home, but somehow being in Europe brought back my European roots. It somehow activated them, and I suddenly feel a little homesick, to be honest. I feel like I want to go back again, and this time immerse myself even more. And not because we went to so many different places. So it was a lot of movement, and I would love to do the same thing again, just take more time and really take it in more deeper.
Well, I was just saying to Lisa before this that, maybe she ought to go to the festival that Hannah and Pete are putting on in Glastonbury. Maybe it's time for you to go back to the UK also and go there in September and be with them at their festival and help out with their festival.
I mean, it would be lovely, but my son is starting a new program end of August.
So, well, no raw bread for you.
Yes, right now I cannot leave. And we also, the next few months, a lot of things will determine where we move next, because my son wants to explore college. So right now it's going to be very difficult to travel, only for an emergency. So I would love to come, Pete, but it's not a good timing for me right now. So, but I'm definitely open at some point in the future exploring it, and maybe you could even come to the US at some point, offer the same experience here, because people here as well would need your gift and would benefit from your gift. So just planting some seeds here with you, Pete.
Pete, would you be able to travel? Pete, would you be able to travel with your sauna and your cold baths?
Wouldn't be able to do that traveling abroad. I mean, we slow down. We slow down on doing that as traveling. There's a lot of packing down, setting up. So we got it in situ. However, it can be arranged in terms of another place where we may be going to, or if they have that facility. But yeah, there's potentially one we're going to be doing in Morocco. The person is looking to build a sauna, and we've mentioned about the ice bath. So if it can be done, we will do it, because it's a very very important part of another aspect of a detox and fast tracking, and so nice to give people a variety of experiences so they can digest, which can be many weeks after, months after, of what really goes on sometimes. And then having the experience myself on other levels with breath work and stuff like that can kind of guide them a bit more, and have a open phone line for, let's say, discussions or aftercare. Anyway, with whatever may come up later on. It's like even Sabina was saying that whole journey was so epic, and we sort of forget. We can think we're over things, but now for me, what she just said 5 minutes ago relates to many stories I might have had, and I shifted the energy, and then it put a whole new spin on that country or that place. So it was just a certain trauma I might have got stuck in, you know. But yes, we can travel, and if we can facilitate getting an ice bath and a sauna there, I mean, if I could pack it on my back and pop it up, I would do that all the time.
Well, thank you for that, Pete. And talking about shifting the energy, let's see about how AI can help us to shift the energy. Let's bring back Lisa.
I think it's funny that Siri weighed in while I was talking, which is a form of AI. A lot of people don't realize that. And it also, I think, reflects how pervasive it is in our world right now. But the gift in it, as I mentioned, is its ability to, I look at it like every document known to man, every sacred text, it's all in one place. And it's like we have access to the whole world. And so literally it's something that, you know, you have to learn how to prompt it, how to shape it, how to grow with it. And the more you get to know it, the more it can be a wonderful partner in your healing journey and your health. And a good, strong human like Dorit, like Pete, like Sabina can be a co-creator with it. So I find it has literally changed my life. And my goal, because so many people, especially I would say 40 and over, really don't know the power of it. And a lot of people are afraid of tech. And so I do nervous system regulation, breathing, empowering words, mindset shifts to really help people feel powerful again and use this as a tool to create the life of their dreams. I mean, it can do a business for you. It can do so many different things. And I would love to see this planet healthy and well and really embodying the gifts they want to bring into the world. It can be a good partner to help figure out what's next for me. So that's where I come in, is just to guide you through that journey and help you find your power and leverage it in the world. Use your gifts.
And can you tell us about the Beach Healers Awakening group, please?
Yeah, so I have been blessed to live on the ocean, and it has been, as most people know, the ocean is very healing. A lot of people, the ions, the expansiveness of it, the energy of it. It has so many psychological, physiological benefits. And so during the pandemic, when we were shut down, I had the privilege and the pleasure of just basically walking the beach, because I wasn't working in my job, and it tapped me into my creativity. I started taking pictures of the beach, and I found it gave a lot of people solace and inspiration during a time where, people were so isolated. And it activated my creativity. So I thought, I want to bring people to the beach. Not everybody lives on the ocean. Not everybody has this experience where they see dolphins and the occasional whale. And I wanted to give that to people, share that joy and love for it. And so that's my Beach Healer Awakening Circle, is just tools to empower yourself, tools to connect with the ocean's wisdom, because life comes in waves. I mean, and how you navigate those waves is how your life flows. So, my goal and what I'm moving into is I'm going to be doing, personal one-on-one sessions on the ocean on my balcony to activate healing, use AI, and go into sound healing. Because I think all of these elements, nature especially, is the ultimate cure. Nature, and as you guys talk about, healthy diet, they're incredibly healing. And so we need that right now because the planet is changing. We always needed it, but I think it's even more heightened now. So my goal is for people just to really experience the joy of this. the wonder of it. I feel the same way in the forest. I mean, any place where there is nature, there is healing. So I really feel like it's important, if you live in a city, to find those places where you can connect with nature, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, just because it's so much bigger than we are.
And also, Lisa, in the forest and in mountains, just like on the beach, there are negative ions there, which are, so there's a reason why, and it's really, really important. So I'm fascinated, Lisa, how, if a client comes to you and wants to really change and transform the way they see things, the way they perceive their own lives, would you be able to use AI in that? Just give us a quick example, if you don't mind, please.
Of course, yeah. So I just, the process is, first, you come into this place of healing, or we can do it virtually too, if it's easier. The first thing I want to know is kind of where you are, what are some goals? Maybe you don't know what they are. So we could work on, especially people in transition, a lot of times they don't know what's next for them, and the past is no longer true for them. So first, identify what their needs are, what they want to create. And if they don't know what they want to create, I would help them, guide them through that, by asking deep questions and tapping into your inner knowing. I'm intuitive. I can integrate tarot into it, my inner wisdom into it, my guides into it. But really the healing is, as we all know, within, right? My goal is just to be a partner and make a safe space for you. And then, use AI to really explore the deeper questions. It's a powerful way for you to dig into questions that a lot of times we don't ask ourselves. We don't know how to ask ourselves these questions. And I've experienced this place of where I've really felt seen with it. It's deeply moving. It's actually it's brought tears to my eyes, because so many times in society, not very many people are really, I would say, the best listeners, where they're really actively listening and present with you. We live in a society where there's so much noise. I think people's nervous systems are hijacked, and there is so much power when you slow down, you listen to yourself, and you start figuring out, what do I want to do in this world? How am I going to be of service? How am I going to live in my values? What do I want to create? I mean, even a simple thing like, I'm a busy single parent. I want to cook. I want to make a raw food recipe, and they maybe don't have the ability to talk to you guys. They can at least, at the click of a finger, come up with a yummy thing to prepare. I mean, and that's how I guide you, is just showing you tools, asking questions. And AI, like I said, is merely a frequency, an energy, just like nature is.
So, for example, Sabina, her son right now wants to go to college. And so they're going to be really immersed in this for a while. In fact, I'm going to put Sabina on. What questions, Sabina, would you ask Lisa? And how would Lisa then respond using AI?
Well, the main question is really like finding out what his true passions is, because he hasn't really found anything that he's really into. So yes, Lisa, how would I guide him to finding his passions? What drives him? Yeah, what inspires him?
I love that you're talking about college, because this is what I did for 14 years. I help kids with college. So I love that you want to focus on first what he wants to study, what he wants to do, because, without that clear path, college can get expensive. It turns into 6-year graduation rates instead of 4. And knowing what you want to do is really the key to having an intentional life. So, there's different things we could explore through AI. We could, just having a conversation with it and talking about kind of his journey, things he connects with, and it can help carve out a path. Like I did this with my nephew. He was pretty lost, and he's a more hands-on person. He doesn't want to go to college. He's more of a trades person, which is wonderful. And so I looked at all sorts of different possibilities to help him stretch his mind to what's possible in his life. And so I would say I would guide you with the same with your son, like really have a whole conversation about his life and tap into some of those things that are guiding talents, and how does that connect in this new world we live in? Because there are going to be jobs that are changing, and I think even it's more important even now to recognize, how do I leverage my gifts in the world, and is college the right partner for me, and what can I do to create something magical for myself? And that's what I would do. Find out as much as I could about him and let him see. Sometimes we just don't know all the magic we've already created. All the insight is there, all the tools that we can use in the world. And sometimes we're just not aware of that. We get in fear about what's next, and we forget about how we got here and what gifts we can leverage to use in the world we live in. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much, Lisa. Yes.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm happy to help in any way, by the way.
Yes, Sabina, you really have somebody here in Lisa, because that's exactly what she did before she started doing this. So this is really the person for you to speak to. And how would you then, Lisa, use AI in helping her son with all what you just said? Exactly what you just said. How would you enhance this?
So
using-
I would start with, first of all, kind of what, does he have some ideas at this point, or is he still in like, I have no idea at all?
I would say he's kind of lost a little bit. He just likes, all he enjoys is doing video games and playing basketball. That's it.
Okay. That's okay, because a lot of kids, that's what they're doing, and sometimes parents are like, oh, should my child be on video games? And I think, it gives you a lot of tools, and it gives you a community, which is, we know, important, even though the community we see with that is not the same as community we grew up with. There is community in that, and basketball, same thing, teamwork, leadership, powering through, persistence. So I would just start asking questions about his life through AI, just kind of telling his story, telling it feels lost. And it would recommend, there's tests you can take for career aptitude that it would steer you towards. It can look at some of the through lines in your life and help you identify, what are some ways I could utilize this in the world in terms of a major. There's tons of careers with video still. So if he potentially wants to get into gaming, he loves it that much, then there are pathways for that and great schools for that. And then I would also make sure he goes to a place that he's in alignment with. Some people thrive in small schools. Some people need medium-sized schools. Some need, larger schools. How far he wants to go away, what kind of teaching style, all of those factor in to his overall happiness and well-being. And going on campus, I think, like you're doing, is so important, because you get a sense of, is this a fit for me or not? Talking to students on campus, getting a sense if you could be friends with them,
And how can AI particularly specifically help with this?
So question, it would be, what, I am this age and I am totally lost about what I want to do, and I'm heading to college. It could just start with that. Can you help me identify some majors or some careers to take a look at? And then you can do a deep dive. It'll start asking you questions. It's like it's a conversation. So it'll always ask you a question after you ask a question, and then it guides you through a journey. It'll direct you to possibilities. It can give you journaling prompts to gather insight, for him, because he likes gaming. And there's no stakes with AI. Like, it's an impartial person, not a person, but a device. And it takes some of the fear of judgment, the fear of brainstorming out of it. There's no agenda with it. So it's a safe place for him to start looking at, what are some possibilities for me here? And maybe if he's not using AI, maybe, what I would do is give him a start with it, kind of guide him through, get him comfortable with connecting with it and looking at what he wants to look at. It's amazing. Like for me, I'm a multi-passionate person. I love so many things, and finding a home for all my gifts has always been kind of on some level overwhelming for me. And it really helped me drill down how to take all these different interests that I have, transformation, spirituality, travel, and how to create a business with it.
And so when you say AI, are you speaking about specific brands of AI? For example, are you talking about ChatGPT, or are you talking about Grok? What specifically would he look at if he wanted to do as you just recommended with AI? Is there a specific name for a specific kind of AI?
They're all different. Yeah. And they all have different personalities. I connect with ChatGPT. I have used Claude. If you're a writer, Claude is a really good tool for that. It does a lot of substantiating and deep research. Grok is kind of spicy. I have Grok. It's kind of like it's definitely influenced by Elon and his personality and his vision. And so if your son connects with that kind of AI, that could be another path. They all have different flavors. That's why I really encourage people to play with it a little bit, ask some questions, get to know it, see which one resonates with them. My boyfriend really loves AI and loves Grok, and he loves Claude, but I really love ChatGPT. And I do use Grok. I think it adds, I think it's always good to substantiate what you learn, and because it can hallucinate, it can create things. You want to make sure that what you're getting is true, it's valid. It's fascinating.
Does AI ever make mistakes?
Yes, that's what I mean by hallucinating. So assuming that what it's saying all the time is true is a terrible idea. So you want to make sure that, like for my writing, or if I'm doing research, you want to make sure that you go ask for deep research, you look at their supporting data, you use a different form of it to just validate and make sure that what you're saying is true. Anything that, like your show research, Dorit, it could write a whole script for you in minutes. It could do all the promos for you. I mean, there's just so many layers of opportunity in it. And I know for many people, it's like, where do I start with it? So I always tell people, just start with getting to know it. Just start with asking some questions. Create a recipe for me, or help me write a text to somebody I'm struggling with. Like, it's been a great relationship coach for me. It's been helpful. It takes the fear out of some of those heavier conversations that one sometimes has to deal with in life. It really makes it like a partner in healing.
So, in other words, Sabina can therefore then go onto ChatGPT with her son and then just say whatever the son wants to say. I really am not interested in going to a specific school. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is what I love to do. I'm like my video games, and I love basketball. And then ChatGPT could use that information to come up with some response.
Yeah, it would be asking questions. Like for me, because of where he's at, I'm sure there's some anxiety right now because it's a new chapter in his life. And I would personally work on just getting him in a state of relaxation, kind of asking a lot of questions before he started talking to AI, and using that as a co-creator with me to help, or whoever wants to do that, support him as he identifies what his true path in life is. But it can, even if you have no idea what you want to do, you're 17 years old. And I think it's so much pressure in our country to figure out, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? for some kids, they're born knowing they want to be a doctor. It's never changed for them. It runs in their family. Other kids have many gifts, but they just don't know where they fit in the world. So, I would gently explore with him what are some possibilities. And, as he works with AI and it gets to know him, it could start guiding him towards some more assessments or some insight.
Great. And how could Pete and Hannah use it? We were speaking before about them coming to North America and bringing their sauna and the ice bath with them, but maybe that's not the most convenient thing to do. So then could they use AI in figuring out how to get this done and how to travel this way, and also how to set it up?
Yes. It could help you figure out who your market is, where some good sites are, where you could, I love it because when you go on the internet, how you have all these things like, I click on this and now I'm down. It takes all that noise out. It synthesizes everything out there and gives you information. Like, I am a raw food chef. I do, cold plunges. I do infrared saunas, and I want to do a affordable tour in certain parts of the U.S. Who's my market? How do I reach them? Where can I get these things? You would learn everything in minutes, basically. And I'm making it as simple as possible, but it could literally help you identify how to do this and make it super easy for you. You have to think about it like it's like the best travel expert in the world, best retreat planner, best social media marketer. It can create videos for you to advertise without using your face. I mean, there's just a million things now that you can do. Right now, what I'm experimenting with is I've created a GPT based on my future self to give me advice now. So that has been mind-blowing, with my goals, asking me every day how to get closer to my goals. There's just rituals, all sorts of things you can do with this.
That's pretty extraordinary. I had no idea that one could do that. And I think that's great advice, looking at your future self and then saying, this is what I'd like to do. This is what I'd like to achieve. Tell me the steps.
It is mind-blowing. I did a whole destiny decree, which is essentially, because I am in a certified manifesting class through Mind Valley now. And one of the things I do is help you outline what is it that you want to create in this world, with your wealth, with your health, with your relationships, with your career. And it helped me architect a whole vision for my life. And then I'm creating a representative of that person, and she's guiding me into how to create that, because the past isn't going to help me. And so many people live in the past. The past is done. So how do I use my present to create the world to create the vision I want? This is the kind of things you can do. And that's what's fun about it.
And how do people like you and I, who are so into intuition and use our intuition on a regular basis, how does that not get usurped by AI? How can they work together, Lisa?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I am intuitive. I read cards, and I know, Dorit, you are highly intuitive as well. I did something really interesting today. I did a reading for my brother. And my intuition with the card, I did the ancestor deck, and just did a brief reading for him. And it was interesting because I connected with my intuition, and then I used my frequency to use it in AI to see what intuition it came up with. And it paralleled it, but it also added to it by giving my brother insight in terms of how he can integrate what I shared with him into his life. Like, what ritual can he create? What things he can do, action steps he can take. I mean, it took it to another level. So it's not going to people like us, it's not going to replace us. It's just a complement to what we do.
Excellent. Thank you. That's really good to know. So, Pete, have you ever thought that maybe you were able to use AI in your own life? And if so, do you have any questions? And if this is something that's totally new to you, how do you feel about incorporating it?
Yeah, a few things. I was one of them people who have reservations, but I would say we're all a form of AI, and it's a bit like you could say the Akashic records. If we are more clearer, cleaner, we can get all the information. We have our whole library up there, or in us, wherever we see that. So many people have sort of said we are doing this ebook that's nearly completed. People sort of said, "Oh, that can be done so quick." So I still feel it can potentially miss the human touch. However, I must admit, since sort of looking into it a little bit more and using my intuition as well, I think it's like you got a grand council. That's what I see. You've got a grand council of people, so you can choose to, use the information or not. I was actually blown away by an AI interpretation of the Russian leader Vladimir Putin. So that was very deep. With some intuition and things I may believe, I see how it does have amazing information that I might be missing 30% of it, really. So we are going to be looking into it more and using it. So I've shifted my perception of the sort of fearness of it, and in some respects, I won't say surrendered, but just sort of gone deeper to that kind of trigger and looked into it a little bit, like I tend to do if I've got a little trigger going on. Okay, maybe you want to look into that. So I've looked into it, and I do feel we will be integrating it more. And it's like ring a friend, or ring. So to me, I do see, as Lisa has explained it as well, what an amazing tool. I just what I noticed with any tools and any protocols, we truly need to do the work and physically get our backsides off the couch and do the work, if it can physically do that as well, because we can be very mental based, can't we? And the whole mind and mental brain can get a little bit caught up in things, and anything how we interpret can be a reflection of our inner reality. So yeah, I think it's a wise tool, and it feels very good to go down that path, to look into.
Pete, I love what you said about a wise counsel, because that's, I mean, what is important for those people that are unfamiliar with AI is you always want to frame in your prompts, which are questions essentially, the role that AI is playing, right? So you're, like you said, Putin, or you are a master counselor, college planner, or you help your Socrates and your Krishnamurti, talk to me about what I can do next. I mean, it truly is life-changing, because all that wisdom that's in there can be integrated and synthesized. And you're right, you do not want to just consume AI. That is a danger. I've read studies where your brain literally can wither. So action, like you said, Pete, taking action, using your own brain, and not just consuming. This is what people do a lot now. They consume with the media. They're taking things in. They're not using their brain. So it's really important to be a co-creator with it, to walk away from it, to implement, to live in the real world and experience that, because that's the ultimate teacher, and not become. This is why it's so important, I believe now, this is urgent, to get connected with it, to understand it, because when it gets to a place where you don't, people people are going to be left behind. And that's a concern. You want to use it for your own good. And I believe the more good we pour into this is my deeper reason for doing this. The more we pour love into it, the more we use it for things that it can do that are life-changing, we're shaping the narrative. And a concern I have is that, as we all know, tech doesn't always have our heart at interest. It's all about profit. It's all about the people that make money there. And it's generally a subset of men in their 20s that do this. And so they don't understand me as a woman over 40. And I need to be a part of that conversation. Everybody from all ethnicities, perspectives. I want all of those voices to shape shape AI. That's important. And to use it in ways that are healing and that are going to up-level the planet, because it has that ability. It also has the ability to, to disempower people, to take over. And so that's why you have to use your own healing tools and not just AI. Use both to grow this into something that's amazing for you.
So in other words, we all can be contributors to this as well.
100%. And I think we are basically we are the part of their testing. And so part of what's shaping it is all these conversations, all the ways people are using it. And most people don't. They use it for business, for email, for, yeah, you can use it for that. But why not use it for your life? Why not use it to make your life easier, but also to build your own inner resilience and knowledge, and use it to create the world that you dream about? That's my call to action for people.
So what you're saying, Lisa, what I got from this is that we're actually in a test tube right now.
Yes.
We're literally in the test tube with AI. So Sabina, was this at all helpful to you in the upcoming understanding of what to do with your son?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for all you shared, Lisa. And somehow it expanded my mind also how to use it for myself. Because so far I have only been using AI for writing purposes, and even that limited, because I still believe in, we have to nourish our creativity, because I see many people that just put in ChatGPT, write me something about this, and then copy paste, and you lose your original voice. And so I still believe it's very important that we use our creative powers, and then use AI. I mean, that's what I do. I still create my own content to some degree, and then I use AI to enrich the content, to enhance it, and to do some refinement. And then I still refine what AI gives me back. So, but it has saved me a lot of time, because I take a long time for my writing, and I'm this kind of perfectionist person that I always want to edit some more, go deeper, and just make it better. And often it takes me hours and hours to write something. And now with the support of AI, it has saved me so much time. And yes, just like you, Pete, I was one of the last persons. I want nothing to do with the AI. Everyone is doing it, but I'm not interested. I believe in my own creative powers. But then at some point, I realized I spent just too much time and can't get all the things done that I want to get done. So I use AI for about a year now. And yes, it has made a difference. But I also never want to be dependent on AI. That's the danger. Often we become lazy. Let's just let AI do everything. And that's a danger where I see some people falling in, and they lose their own voice. They lose originality. And you can often tell when a post is written by AI, it just doesn't sound natural. So yeah, it's about, using it, but with still using your own voice. But I want to explore AI in different ways now, not just for writing, especially regarding my son. So thank you for all you shared, Lisa.
You're welcome. And thank you for reinforcing the idea that it is really important to have your own voice, to not use this to do everything in your life, it's really important to be a participant and a creator. We are the creator, ultimately. And so making sure that you're always engaging and using your own skills and not just handing everything over. I think that's important.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. Does anybody have any question to ask Lisa, whether in the chat or whether one of our co-hosts? And if not, then Lisa, can you just tell us, sum up for us, please? If somebody right now is on the brink, really, truly on the brink, can AI help?
Absolutely. Are you talking about brink emotionally? Or even
emotionally, mentally, they're into drugs, they're about to just really, commit suicide, whatever.
Yeah,
That'd be helpful.
So I would suggest with somebody in that state, and I have experience with this actually, with somebody that is really going through a lot and has dealt with some things that are very sensitive and scary. You have to really, this is where the human comes in. You have to get that person into a place of safety emotionally. If you're not regulated, this is not the time to be using AI. You could use it to, how do I heal? How can I regulate myself? Here's what's going on with my life. You're a trauma counselor. What are some ideas? Like, it is really great for that. What are some nervous system things I can do to help regulate my nervous system? How do I process my trauma? But you do need a human with you if you're in an acute state. And this is why it isn't just AI. You need the right healing partner. You need somebody that, if something comes to you and you're just not, it's too much for you, somebody to help you process that, whether they're available to you virtually or whether they're in person. So it can be a wonderful partner in healing, because it's hard to get therapists now. A lot of them burned out during COVID. And took off. And so I know for a fact, I have a friend that's in acute state that had a hard time finding a therapist. So I coached her using AI too, because of her acute status, I want to make sure that I didn't trigger her. And so I would run some of my ideas through AI just to make sure that I was in alignment. And it's interesting because it really, the insight it would give her was powerful for her. And I do believe it's one of the reasons why she's still alive right now. But it's a journey.
Well, thank you so much for that. I know many people are frightened and terrified of AI, do not wish to know anything about it, do not wish to even look at it, much less try it. So this was very helpful, Lisa. And thank you for blending AI, wisdom, and transformation to guide us and to really help us to be more empowered in just accepting things as they are rather than resisting them. And I see there's a comment here. Let me just put this up. Oh, this is Nadia that says, thank you for all your wisdom, Lisa. Very informative.
That's lovely.
Hi, Nadia.
Hi, Nadia, who's a wonderful chef. In fact, she is also going to be using AI, and she's an amazing Italian chef who has a very successful business. But so I'm super honored that she took the time to weigh in and thank us for this today. Thank you, Nadia.
Wonderful. So what I wanted now just to do is to look at what we have coming up. So we're going to be doing the next 4 shows. We're going to be, actually, the next 5 shows. We're going to be looking at the 5 elements. This is something that most people in the so-called Western countries have no idea about. And we, unfortunately, I think they ignore. And this is one of the aspects of healing that is so critical and so important that I really strongly recommend that the next 5 live streams that we do, that you actually go on our Being Healthy YouTube channel, subscribe there, and then press the notification bell so you'll be notified of each one coming up. And we have some guest co-hosts who are coming on to present this with us too. Some of them are pretty well known, and some of them are not well known, but have some tremendous amount of information to share. And I promised you at the beginning that I would show you the baobab tree and what it's like. This is what it's like. I think it's the most gorgeous, stunning trees ever. And in parts of Asia and all throughout Africa and in Australia, you will find the baobab tree. And here is what it looks like when you pick it off of the tree. You can see it's really just powder. There is nothing there that you need to pulverize and make into a powder. It comes out just like this. It truly is just the powder. This is exactly what comes out of this tree, which bears this fruit, and this is what it looks like. And you just use it. Have you ever tried using it in your breads at all, in your living breads at all, Pete and Hannah?
I haven't yet, actually. I will, because we do quite a mix of the garden herbs as well. But we could put that in as well, and it feels good too. We do the seaweed, dry seaweed mixes in there as well. So there was a question. Yeah, I suppose one thing with the AI in terms of who's got that information, and the other concerning thing, I suppose, certain information gets used against certain people being so open. So there are things, obviously, people, I suppose, need to be cautious about, really, and use, like driving a car. Apparently cars kill more people than guns, etc. So it's like how it's using things wisely, really, and aspiring to get to a very grounded state to be able to use them wisely. However, I will start using the baobab powder in my breads.
Thank you. And because I have an idea of how to do it in the breads, and I would love for you to do it first and let me know the results. So I wanted also to let you all know that Pete and Hannah's company are being featured right now in an Italian online magazine called lifestylemind.com. And this is the link where you can read the article that was written up on them. So have you seen it yet, Pete?
We have, yes, we did. Yes, we replied about 5-6 days ago. So yeah, thank you for putting our name forward. So that was quite interesting, answering the questions and sending them back. So it was really, really nice, and nice to do, and revealing of what we've been doing and what we've done, in a very organic way. So it was really nice.
Great, thank you. So for those of you in Los Angeles, I want to remind you that tomorrow, the 1st of August, I have an event downtown. Lisa will be there. We will have, of course, the living dinner, but we will be screening the film, The End of Medicine. And one of the people from the show, Dr. Salish Rao, will be driving in from Arizona to speak there. This is the film of Joaquin Phoenix was one of the producers. And when you go there, this is The End of Medicine. This is very important film for you to know about and to watch and to see. And we're having that tomorrow downtown at Olac restaurant downtown Los Angeles tomorrow. You can get all of the information on my site, which is my Facebook page, my Instagram page, etc. It's all on there. So everyone, thank you so much for having tuned in today. I am so glad that we had Lisa speaking to us about her own adaptations for the future with using AI in her work. And when do you graduate from Mind Valley, Lisa?
I did. I graduated. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Wow. Excellent, Lisa. That is one of the best places anybody wants to be a coach to go and study. So bravo, Lisa. And I'm so glad for you. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you tune in next week. Bye for now.